Alright, working some setups. I hate cars and houses and stuff in the background, sorry about that. Just been at Granny's for a long time. But it comes clear like how much huger the footprint of the bigger, longer hammocks like this Superior Gear 11-footer with all the bells and whistles are compared to this. A lot of the reason I haven't had this out in the field much is I want to get a tarp made for it the tarp is a little longer. I can get ample coverage with a basic 4-point 12-foot tarp with this, even 11-foot. But then, and I see even places using smaller, then I need almost like a 12 for this. Like a Superfly from War Bonnet 11-footer barely covers that big black hammock. It's cloaked in the Dutchware Gear Sock, and this is cloaked in the Hammock Gear Bottom Quilt Protector. But so far this still wins as my go-to for travel. Just a lightweight quilt. Look at the Livin'Large insulated pad, well insulated mummy pad, a Neo Air X-Therm medium wide, super ultra light hammock. I'd take one a couple inches longer and wider. Then just this is a fun accessory to keep the dew off my dew. Alrighty, the Hammock Gear Bottom Quilt Protector, my cloak. How well did this thing do with the dew? It's pretty dry. It's all the way dry, in fact, but I'm afraid I got to it a little too late. There's been sun on it. I can't really tell. The theory is when it's here like this, and I'm pretty certain it'll work, the bottom quilt protector will keep my my sleeping quilt and everything, keep all the dew and condensation. We had a lot of weather where it was like super foggy and icy. I just kind of rigged up, it's got a couple little tensioners. I just rigged them up through each other, little rig in there. And yeah, I like it. You can see how it would just hide me in my pad there, especially if I had a bright colored sleeping bag. Oh yeah, Hammock Gear. This is the Harvester camo, and they had a couple options. I got the 10D nylon. But we'll continue to test this thing. Oh, and the other theory is when it comes off the hammock, it's got this elastic adjustment system. You could, flip it the other way and put it over your sleep system. Like if you're either in the hammock and just have a bright sleeping bag, you could, kind of like a top sheet to both cloak and keep the dew off your sleep system. Alrighty, action, working some hammock configurations. Over the course of last year, I kind of picked up what I needed to get this one kind of going. It's got a hammock cocoon style quilt. I had tried the Grand Trunk Evolution, which was really nice. I loved the design. I like to think I've made an impact. I sent in some designs to some companies, but it was starting to tear here, where this is a double layer hammock stretch, rather. Some people are like, no, that's normal and this and that. I was like, I don't know, I could anyway. Then this I've been working on. This is my classic go-to hammock I've been using since, I don't know, probably for like a decade. It's got a well-insulated mummy pad, a Livin'Large quilt. Now I've just kind of added this fun top cover to keep, or hammock bottom quilt protector to keep the dew off it. Just cloak it, make yourself invisible, look better in the forest. And I don't know, my buddy gave me this. I've been trying this different places. Thank you. But yeah, this got a cocoon, a Dutch cocoon that can wrap it. This with the E-Lite 30 Fahrenheit insulation, the down, the bottom quilt protector this uses. I've dropped the hammock a couple times. Well, once it fell, and I'm glad I had it on there. I mean, you got a hammock that costs so much. But anyway, it will also kind of keep the dew on. I like how it snaps. You could technically snap this hammock shut. I like a hammock that snaps shut and you can, like, I don't know, not worry about everything getting blown out. But oh, where was I going at? All this together, and the stuff sack, which I really like these Superior stuff sacks or storage sacks. Only weighed in at like 4.1 pounds, which is pretty darn light. Both of these are, I mean, you could take a pound off it by getting rid of this and the bottom quilt thing, and obviously the storage sack. You know, I'm saying it's a lightweight setup. This is probably the lightest. I feel like this is more versatile and predictable with the pad in it, and it rivals the weight of this. But as it gets colder, this gets a little more comfortable on the sides because it's insulated. And you know, this is good to 40. The only reason this wouldn't be good down to about a little below 30 Fahrenheit is this top quilt. You can just take that and put the magma sleeping bag in it, or stuff a quilt in it like this. But cool, playing with some hammocks. Oh yeah, seeing what's the best. Alrighty, action. Yeah, I was just doing a video about how I don't like my stuff blowing out of the hammock. Here we have an underquilt protector from Hammock Gear, the pretty looking Harvester camo, 10D nylon. And here the Cocoon system, which is for Superior Gear. The Cocoon zips halfway, then you kind of cuddle the rest of the quilt around your head and neck. Well, that's all good, but one of the places the Grand Trunk Evolution had it beat out is it zipped up all the way. What does that do? Well, you can kind of keep your stuff in it a little better, and now and then I'd come by and I'd see half the quilt just laying in the dirt. So I didn't even think about this, but you got your adjustable ridge line on your Superior Gear, so you can take your quilt draft collar thing and hook it in here. I thought that's pretty sneaky. If you didn't hook it in there, you could put your own little loop, or technically this hammock way up here, it's hard to see, it has an accessory loop for some of the other things they use with it, built with it, designed with it at Superior Gear. So pretty cool just to look at it. This is the gray E-Lite fabric. It's an 11-foot hammock. It's set at 30 Fahrenheit. It has a bottom quilt protector snapped onto it, and the 40 Fahrenheit top cocoon. So it's been a little below, it's been in the 30s, but kind of gives it a good test to see what the limits are. In reality, if it's winter, I would put my gray magma 25 Fahrenheit or 15 Fahrenheit sleeping bag, but really what I'm saying is it goes to about 25, because in reality 15 is like the bottom limit. Pretty cool though. Alright, action. Talking about ways to protect the sleep system from dew and other dangerous things like bird poop. So I've got the extravagant Superior Gear 30 Fahrenheit E-Lite hammock, and the Cocoon, or the Dutchware sock can come over it. This is all luxurious stuff. I don't know if in the real world you're going to take this with you, depending on how you backpack or travel, but it's lightweight, and in the winter this can add a very slight amount of warmth. Not much, but a little bit. I haven't thoroughly tested it, but I think mostly if you could keep the frost and the dew off your down sleep system, you're doing pretty good. So just a couple different ways, and then I can pull this back, and you've got a couple ways you can protect the hammock. Here's a bottom quilt protector from Hammock Gear that protects your underquilt, so normally it might not cinch quite like this. I've just got it rigged together here. And then from Superior Gear, snapped on this, it's kind of hard to see, is a bottom quilt protector. Another theory is I was going to get this same one but in camo, but they didn't have it that I could see in stock at the time, because I really liked the Harvester camo. Get into two more things. What I'm saying is you can snap this over the hammock. See how it has the snaps that are built to snap onto the Superior hammock? You could use it on a different hammock and snap it shut. It doesn't weigh much. They both weigh close to the same and pack about the same. Just two different ways of doing the same thing. I like the Harvester camo. I think it gives a good way that you can, like, I don't know, change the color of what you have, or decide what, maybe you have something really expensive you want to build, like one of these, and you want to get an idea what color you like. You know, for 50 to 70 bucks you could order something like one of these and try it. But mostly I think the bird poop and the frost, this is still in testing. The last time I used it I got quite a bit of condensation. I like using it like just a pullover. Like you can cinch it all the way over the hammock, pull the drawstring, and it cinches all the way over, and it's got a zipper that you use to go in and out of it. But I think that's why Dutch maybe designed it. Obviously ease of getting it on the hammock, but you could just pull it down over you like a blanket if you like looking up at the stars and just not be, or if you the opposite, like to flip it all the way over, you can just have barely a little bit of the net showing that vents it. Couple different products out there for the enthusiast.